Hello, today I will be discussing injuries in the NBA. To me, this means a lot because I'm a huge NBA fan and I hate seeing my favorite players go down with injuries. NBA players, they endure a high amount of game-related injuries, and this is more to do with the off-season and the training sessions out of the games. The 2021 NBA season had the most time missed due to injuries since the 2009 NBA season. This was likely due to players having only 73 days in between the 2019 2020 season and the 2020-2021 NBA season. This is an issue because NBA teams are used to having around 180 days off between games. This is due to COVID and how they had to stop the season and then resume, and then they resumed it very shortly after the finals ended. The most common NBA injuries are ankle sprains, knee injuries, deep thigh bruising, and jammed fingers. The more severe ones being the ankle and knee injuries. Injuries to star players has a huge effect on the amount of fans going to games and also the excitability of games in general. Time played in between seasons has been shown to result in more injuries during the season. So that's why I think shortening the season will definitely improve it, but there's way too many games in a short amount of time, so players only have like 2 days in between games, which is not healthy. Here's some good examples of this. Derrick Rose, he won the MVP in 2011 and was a superstar in the league. And after a few years of issues with his knees, he ended up plummeting and declining. So now he's still a good player, but he's not near the star level player he used to be. Another one is DeMarcus Cousins. At the beginning of the 2017-18 season, he was considered arguably the best center in the league, and he happened to get he tore his Achilles and has never been able to fully get back into shape. Klay Thompson. Although we haven't found out if Klay Thompson will ever be able to get back to being an All-NBA player, they still had to go 2 years without him, and that's a while to go without one of your best players and one of the best players and shooters in the league. One more example is Tracy McGrady. He got injured in the 2007 season, and before that, he was considered one of the best guards in the league. And since then, he hasn't been nearly a good player. He actually retired in 2011. So, yeah. So, to conclude this, the NBA has a huge injury problem, and that's huge for players because the workload that is put on them can be too much.
May I ask you a question?
Yes.
What do you think the NBA will do moving forward to prevent injury of the player? Because with less injury, we have a better product on the floor.
Mm-hmm.
So what do you think they'll do moving forward to prevent injuries?
Honestly, I don't know. I don't think they'll be doing anything because this has been a problem for years and they haven't done anything about it. So I think one thing they can do is shorten the season or expand the amount of time the season is, the 82-game season is. So I think that's one thing they can do.
One controversial issue that's been brought up regarding injury in NBA players, the use of marijuana as a way to heal quickly. What's your stance on that? Do you think that would help the players recover faster, or have you researched it enough?
Well, I think that's something that players do in response to not having a lot of time in between games. So I think that if that wouldn't be an issue if the NBA season was either expanded, so the 82 games were more expanded, so they had more time in between in between games, or they just shortened the season in games.
Thus reducing the need for the marijuana
Yeah,
use.
so that's just a temporary thing.
Oh, thank you.
Yeah, so to conclude, I feel like the lack of injuries in the league would definitely help out the fan base and the teams, and it would lead to a more predictable game in general, which would lead to higher revenue and also more enjoyable games because you wouldn't miss your favorite players play. So yeah, that's the final speech.